Hello everyone. Today we're talking about World War II, otherwise known as humanity's biggest example of maybe this wasn't the best idea. It lasted from 1939 to 1945. Involved more than 100 million soldiers, affected countries across Europe, Africa, Asia, and the Pacific, and changed history forever. So, how did we even get here? Let's rewind. Chapter 1. How did this mess even start? The year is 1990. Repeating numbers. The World War One has just ended. Everyone's exhausted. Europe looks like it's finished the world's worst group project. And I've been in it, okay? So don't challenge me. The winning countries gather in France and create the Treaty of Versailles. Germany reads the treaty. Germany says, wait, I have to lose land, shrink my army, pay huge reparations, and take all the blame. The Allies. The Allies said, correct. Germany said, I don't like this. And that feeling didn't disappear. Then, in 1929, the Great Depression appeared. Businesses closed. People lost jobs. Money practically vanished. Germany wasn't having the greatest decade. Then came along this guy, Adolf Hitler. His campaign was basically vote for me, I'll fix the economy and rebuild Germany, and I'll make us powerful again. Heil Hitler. Many people believed in it. By 1933, Hitler was in power. Europe collectively should have been saying, this doesn't look promising. Chapter 2. Knock knock. It's 1939 and Hitler has already taken Austria and too much of Czechoslovakia. Europe keeps hoping he'll stop. He doesn't. On the 1st of September, Germany invades Poland using blitzkrieg or lightning war. Imagine every part of the military saying, everyone attack at once. Tanks roll in, aircraft fly overhead, infantry follows. Poland barely has time to react. Britain and France watch this unfold. Britain says, right. France says, that's enough. On 3rd September 1939, they declare war on Germany. And just like that, a regional conflict becomes the Second World War. Chapter 3. Picking sides. Soon, countries begin choosing teams. On one side, Germany, Italy, Japan, collectively known as the Axis powers. On the other side, Britain, France, China, later joined by Soviet Union and the United States. Basically, the world's biggest multiplayer node. Britain also relied heavily on troops from across the British Empire. One of the greatest contributions came from British India. The British Indian Army eventually grew to 2.5 million volunteers, making it the largest volunteer army in history. Indian soldiers fought in North Africa, Italy, the Middle East, and Burma, playing a vital role in the Allied war effort. At the same time, India was still under British rule, leading to many people asking the same important question. If we're fighting for freedom around the world, shouldn't India have freedom too? That question became an important part of India's independence movement. Chapter 4. Germany goes on a winning streak. Germany starts capturing the countries faster than people can update the maps. Denmark, Norway, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, France. At this point, it was Max Verstappen all the way. Hitler's strategy seems unstoppable. Only Britain remains. Hitler launches the Battle of Britain. His plan? Destroy the Royal Air Force. Then invade. Britain replies with something like, actually, no. Thanks to determined pilots like Roald Dahl. Yes, you didn't know that. Roald Dahl actually flew for the British Royal Air Force and radar technology and strong defenses. Britain survived. Hitler just suffered his first major setback. Chapter 5. The War. gets even bigger. Then Hitler makes one of the history's most famous strategic mistakes. He invades the Soviet Union. Someone probably should have reminded him that Napoleon tried something similar. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. It didn't end well for Napoleon either. Ger- German forces advanced quickly, then winter arrives. Snow, ice, supply problems, Soviet resistance. Things stop going according to plan. Meanwhile, Japan attacks Pearl Harbor. Yes, the famous attack on the US was in World War II. The United States looks at the situation and says, well, now looks like we're involved. The war has officially become global. Chapter 6, The Tide Turns. By now, the Axis powers control huge areas, but the Allies began fighting back. At Stalingrad, Germany suffers a devastating defeat. Then comes D-Day. Oh, more than 1.5 lakh Allied troops on the beaches of Normandy land. One of the largest military operations in history is now underway. Germany is now being pushed from both east and west. Chapter 7, The Holocaust. While the war continued, Nazi Germany carried out the Holocaust. Around 6 million Jewish people, along with millions of other victims, including Roma people with disabilities, political prisoners, and others targeted by Nazi regime were murdered. This is this was in concentration camps like Auschwitz. You can visit them in Hungary and early Germany. This was one of history's greatest crime against humanity. There are no jokes here. It remains a reminder of where hatred, prejudice, and unchecked power can lead. Chapter 8, The End. By 1945, Allied forces reach Berlin. Germany surrenders. Victory in Europe, but the war in the Pacific continues. In August 1945, the United States drops atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Soon afterwards, Japan surrenders. After 6 years of fighting, the Second World War is over. Now, a moment of silence for the people who have died in World War II. When the war ended, 70 and between 70 and 85 million people have lost their lives. The world had changed forever. The UN was created to encourage international cooperations and help prevent future global conflicts. World War II reminded us that poor decisions, extreme ideologies, and, and the pursuit of power can have consequences that can affect the entire world. History isn't just about remembering dates, it's about learning from them. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.